Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Friday, March 3rd. And folks, I apologize to all the subscribers out there who've been looking for us all week long. It's had to take a few days off, folks, recovering from COVID. And boy, oh boy, I thought I got my ass kicked a couple times in my life, but none greater than the past week. Holy cow. Be safe, folks. Do the right things, because it's no fun. And in any event, we're back. And how good is it to be back? I'm joined by two of the guys are my good friends and also some of the best handicappers in the country, Mr. Jesse Shule of jesseschule.com and Craig Trapp.
Whoa.
I want to see if you're paying attention. Sean Higgs of picksandparleys.net. Long-standing joke there. I had known Sean for years. We started working together a lot over the last 6 months or so now. And I always had a hard time. If you don't know Craig Trapp, he's the owner over at picksandparleys.net. I always had a hard time for some reason deciphering the difference between Sean and Craig, because facially they look similar. Hair-wise, they look similar, stockily built. So, after 6 months, I finally got it. But, I'm coming off of COVID, and I just want to make sure everybody else who's with me is awake too. And obviously, Jesse, I haven't talked to you, my friend. How are you?
It's been a rough few days, Ross. I didn't have COVID, but yeah, maybe some of my clients wish I did the last few days. I haven't had a winner in a couple days now. So, part of the business, it is what it is. Transparent about it, of course. And thankfully, I never ask anybody to judge me based on 1 or 2 days results.
And nor should they. Sean, it's too much. We get that in this industry, that somebody jumps in with you new. In Jesse's case, for example, he's had a tremendous 2022. He got off to a rocket start in 2023, and then you jump aboard and the guy goes 0 for the last couple of days, whatever the case may be. And then you're the worst thing since sliced bread. Well, you have to judge a guy over the long haul. You have to research his track history and go from there, right, Sean?
And that's the worst thing, because then people do that. You jump on, all of a sudden you're like terrible. You're like, oh my goodness, it's a bad stretch. You're gonna, we lose sometimes. There's going to be a stretch. You're going to have a bad couple of days or a week, and you're like middling. Like I had to. Like that was like my February every day: 3-3, 4-3, 4-6, 1-3, 2-2. Like you're gonna, and you feel bad when the people jump on in a bad stretch. It's just. What do you say? Like I can't win every day, and then you jump on. Like I feel bad enough losing for myself. I want to lose it for somebody else. Jesse wants to lose for somebody else. It's not that it's a no-win situation, but it is. It's like tough. Anytime somebody buys, it's in your head. I got to win every game. Every game you have to win, because you're going to get it. Like you lost 2 in a row, you're terrible.
Yeah.
Hey man, this is not. It's not set in stone. We lose sometimes. We're not the TikTok world of. Look at this. We're 94%. You can't beat us.
Yeah.
164-13 on the season. What?
Yeah. You can go to what's that site that Dave Purfoy or whatever owns?
Barstool Sports.
Yeah, there's a lot of clowns on there. If you want to go there and hear what you want to hear, Stu Finer's a perfect example. The guy can't pick an apple off an apple tree. But if you go on there, hi folks, we're 17-1, 17-1, 17-1. If you want to buy into that shit, folks, you know what? I got a bridge in Brooklyn I could sell you to. Anyway, my point being, Jesse's a great handicapper. Me and Sean know that. And we respect each other. We know that we're all good handicappers. We pick each other up. We support each other. There's enough money to go around in this industry. I want Jesse to win. I want Sean to win. I want guys to go on big winning streaks, but it doesn't happen all the time. And folks, if you're going to,
that's the outlier.
Yeah.
Jesse, when we come in and Jesse's like, 65% for the year. Like that's amazing. Like people think that they're usually seeing nonsense on Twitter and stuff like that. That's okay. I could do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You could knock yourself out doing that.
I always say if you can make 60% of the decisions in life are good ones, you're living real good. I know I'm a better handicapper than I am a life decision maker. I could tell you that. Anyway, we got 3 nationally televised games for Saturday, all being televised by ESPN, Kansas and Texas, Arizona, UCLA, and Duke, North Carolina. We're going to start with Jesse. He's got the Kansas and Texas game, and Texas coming off their first 2-game losing streak of the season, Jesse. Coming off that 2-point loss, by the way, I had it all the way. They had a 3 at the buzzer, down 5, catching 2.5 or 3. I win with Texas the other night. Sometimes you win them like that, and sometimes you lose them like that. I know that's the last thing you want to hear right now, Jesse, but you're going to go. How many picks you got tonight, Jess?
One, and it was really difficult for me to squeeze one out today. I really didn't want to get out of bed today. It was that bad.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
I'm focused on Saturday's card. I want to come strong on Saturday, and I want to really get back on the horse here on Saturday. And I feel good about it. I mean, I think I'll be able to do that. And I really actually like this Kansas Texas game too. And I'm certainly glad, after hearing you brag about covering by a half a point, that I wasn't on the other side of that game, but I might as well have been, because every single one of the games I lost was just like that.
Yeah.
But I'll get right into this Kansas Texas game if you guys don't mind.
Yes.
As Ross mentioned, Texas off back-to-back losses, but of course both of those on the road against very good teams, at Baylor, at TCU. You look at this Texas team, 16-1 at home, so they've only lost 1 home game. So I'm interested, which game was that? Who did they lose to? How did it happen? They lost to K-State in a game that was 116-103. The Wildcats shot 60% from the field, 54% from three-point range, 94% from the free throw line. Ladies and gentlemen, if your opponent is going to shoot like that, you're in trouble every night. And if that's what it takes to defeat the Longhorns at home, maybe Kansas is in trouble here. Kansas has already clinched the Big 12, of course. The home court has been huge in this series. Texas has won 7 straight up at home. I like Texas as a short home favorite in this spot in a revenge game after losing at Kansas earlier in the season.
Yeah, so Texas -2 right now. And there's no money lines out. The money lines usually won't come out until either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. But I think I could speak for Jesse and say that if you can get 135 or less on the money line, Jess, is that what?
Absolutely. I'd be inclined to take the money line.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So Jesse Shule, and I could tell you this, I've been known to bet a dime or two. Okay. And if this guy is coming off a few tough days and he's got a good card of plays tomorrow, I'm betting my money on him. You could bet your ass. I'm telling you that right now. That's how much confidence I have in my man, Jesse. You could find him at jesseshule.com. You could find him at picksandparleys.net. You could find him at sportsmemo.com, as well as other sites across the web. One of the finest handicappers in the country. jesseshule.com is where you could find him. All right, Mr. Higgs, Arizona and UCLA. Arizona coming off a nice win last night over a red-hot USC team. UCLA really took it to Arizona State after Arizona State had that miracle win against Arizona. The Bruins, one of my picks last night at -11.5, win easily by 18 against Arizona State. What say you on this one, my friend?
Yeah, so it's a nice matchup, but it's not really riveting, right? UCLA's already locked up the Pac-12, and I want to kind of take UCLA here -6.5, whatever it'll kind of creep up to. But I'm really thinking about taking the under here. Let's go under the 150.5. And UCLA at home, look at these scores they've given up: 61, 43, 64, 52, 61. On top of that, when they played, so it's a revenge game for them here, it was 58-52 in Arizona. So we see these guys kind of play a slower pace, not what you'd expect out of both these guys, right? I mean, you got 2 teams that could score NBA type level talent on these guys. There'll be some minor picks. And I say 150.5. I look at it, I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I do not see that. I see Arizona, granted, or UCLA they don't have to really play here. They can say, let's get ready for the Pac-12. That's not the case. This is a rivalry game. You don't think they want to avenge that loss? They're going to want to come out. They're going to D it up. They lose ugly 58-52. They want to play better at home. Why do I think this game's going to be like a 75, 70 kind of thing? Something low scoring there, right around probably the number, but give me the under 150.5. I think it's too high.
A lot of urgency for UCLA too, Sean, because, well, I don't know if you want to call it urgency, but I know as of last night, they were the number one team on the 2 line, meaning the 2 seed. And it was between them and, is it Baylor? Was the other one that were vying for a number 1 seed? I can't remember. But in any case, UCLA certainly in position with a win over a very good opponent in Arizona tomorrow, could end up being a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. But then again, who cares?
Like I said, these tournaments play out. You don't know.
Yeah.
They'll love to just stick Duke in there at a 1 if they somehow win the ACC. Oh, Duke's a 1. That'll come on. Come on. You're going to have. I think Houston should be a 1. Obviously, Alabama should be a 1, and then who knows where again? Like Kansas playing really. But I like Texas. I like Texas minus the 2 tomorrow. But that team just seems to be peaking. It's again, who's winning that tournament? Somebody's going to be a 1 seed. Somebody's going to be a 2 seed.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters because whoever, other than a couple teams that are starting to slow down now, like Iowa State, there's 5 or 6 teams that are capable of getting to the Final Four and winning it all, even in the Big 12. So, Jesse, the Arizona UCLA game. I mean, you agree with Sean's assessment as a low-scoring game. Typically, these are 2 high-tempo teams that are known for their offense, but very underrated defensively, especially UCLA. People don't realize how good a defensive coach Mick Cronin is.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was at Cincinnati, they allowed in the high 50s and low 60s in their good years, and they're starting to emulate the same style at UCLA.
56.5 points per game at home is what I got here. And so, I absolutely agree with the under. If I was going to take a side, I'd have to go with the home team, but they're not giving it away. It's priced in about the right price range, in my opinion. So absolutely, I think it's a good take from Sean on the under.
Yeah, and what Ross said about Cron being a good defensive guy, like in Cincinnati, you're like, oh man, they play ugly. He's got no athletes out there. Imagine if he could bring this. Now you see what he's got with guys who could play the NBA type level, 25-4, and a defense giving up 55 points a game. Fabulous.
Their interior defense is tremendous. They guard the perimeter really well. They're good defensively all the way around, but I can't remember the kid's name. I was watching the game last night, the center. He's from not from the States. I think he's from Africa. But what an athlete and what a shot blocker. And he gets guys to buy in. He defines players' roles in his system, and players buy in and stick to that role. And that's why he's been so successful. He got him to a Final Four before. And guys, I would not be shocked whatsoever to see UCLA make a deep run in the upcoming NCAA tournament. Speaking of unders, Duke at UNC. That game goes at, I think, 6 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. And right now, North Carolina is a 2.5-point favorite. The total in this game is 139.5. Again, similar to Arizona and UCLA, first time these teams met, you think of Duke and you think of North Carolina, you think of a lot of high scoring games. I think the series saw like 7 or 8 overs in a row, but not the first meeting this year. Whole different personnel on both teams. And Duke going through the coaching change with Coach K leaving. And the first matchup saw Duke walk away with a 63-57 home win, easily going under that total of 144.5. Both teams shot less than 40% in that game. And you could see the odds makers have already made the adjustment in round 2 to make this at 139.5. The other thing is when you're looking at a total in the high 30s and 140s, you want to check the team's 3-point shooting performances either recently or for the year. And neither one of these teams are noted for their great 3-point shooting. As a matter of fact, North Carolina is dead last in 3-point shooting in the ACC, and Duke isn't far behind at number 11 and number 240 nationally. And North Carolina, by the way, last in the ACC in 3-point shooting and 325th out of 363 Division I teams with their 3-point shooting. Both teams are very good offensive rebounding teams, but both protect the glass pretty well on the defensive end. So that should be a wash. I'm not saying that we won't see second chance opportunities or easy putbacks. We will, but it's not going to be as easy against each other as it is against teams that are outmatched down low, like several teams they face in the ACC. Duke's gone 5-0 in their last 5 true road games when the total's been 137.5 or greater. North Carolina 6-0 in to the under in their last 6 conference games when the total is between 139 and 149, and those games averaged a combined 131 points per game. I'm going to stick with a low-scoring game here relative to this total, and I'm going to go Duke, North Carolina, under 139.5. And again, Sean likes he likes the Arizona UCLA game under 150.5. Jesse Shule likes Texas -2 at home over Kansas. Guys, any thoughts on the North Carolina Duke game? Starting with you, Sean.
I guess I can lean on the under there because Carolina, we've seen them. I don't want to say play down. They just, I don't know what. This team is just such a wacky team this year, right? They came in with, we're number 1 team, we're great. They started the year hot, the new 2023 season, or however you want.
Yeah,
to
but
word
they
it.
shouldn't have been ranked number 1, right?
No, they shouldn't have been number 1. But now, I mean, then look at the way they were playing here. This is just terrible.
Well,
okay, 3 in a row. You beat Virginia at home.
Yeah.
You want to make the tournament, beat Duke here, and you got to win one. I don't know. I mean, I don't like North Carolina, but I think Duke is probably a little better. Even though I don't like their new coach either. I think that's a team I want to fade a lot too, but
I don't think either program is up to standards. I mean, I can't remember the last time that North Carolina faced Duke in a regular season finale, which is customary on an annual basis, and neither team was ranked in the top 25. I don't know, maybe North Carolina's 23, but in any event, neither team is highly ranked. I was
gonna say, how's Carolina ranked and Duke's not ranked? Duke's got 4 more wins, 3 more wins in them.
You know, I had North Carolina last week, Jesse.
Over Virginia,
I had them as a 10-star top play against Virginia. Again, we talk about this all the time. You had a North Carolina team that had lost 5 of their last 7, was unranked at the time, and they were a 4-point favorite at home against the number 6 team in the land. I thought it was a steal. I don't know if it was quite a steal, but they won by 8. They covered. And your thoughts on this matchup, Jesse, this heated rivalry?
Well, what I did notice about this rivalry is that home court doesn't seem to play as much of a factor as you would expect it to. Duke's won 3 of their last 4 at Chapel Hill. The road teams won 4 of the last 6 straight up. It seems like I would beware of betting on a home favorite in this rivalry. It doesn't seem to pan out that well in the last 10 years from what I've seen from the numbers. That said, Duke hasn't been great on the road this year, so it would be difficult for me to pick a side here.
Yeah, North Carolina's lost twice at home this year as well. So yeah, the side to me, I couldn't go heads or tails on. You know what I mean? It was a tough call for me, and that's why I'm going with the total. And hate going under the total this low in a matchup like this. But again, these are not the same Duke and North Carolina teams we've seen in years past. Like I alluded to, they don't shoot the threes well, and both rely heavily on their offensive rebounding ability to wear the other teams down and creating second chance opportunities. So we'll see what happens. But we got 3 great plays for you right there, all of them on ESPN, folks. If you've been with us the last couple weeks, me and Sean have gone 7-1 the last 4 Fridays for Saturday college basketball free picks on our show. And Jesse joins us, and he's only going to add to that winning, folks. I can tell you that. Jesse, before we leave, tell the folks again what you may have coming up this week and whatever else you would like to talk about. Your YouTube channel.
Yeah, no, I've been putting out free picks on YouTube every day, 2 or 3 games. That's going quite well. I'm really happy with the response. You can see me on Twitter at Jesse Shule. You can visit my website, jesseshule.com. And everybody can look forward to a big bounce back this Saturday with a big card in college basketball.
The name of the channel starting on Monday will be the Winner's Circle Sports Betting. That will be the name of the channel. and we'll be sponsored solely by Gamblers World. No more OSGA. So folks, keep that in mind. Nothing's going to change. Same guys, same channel. You don't have to resubscribe. The changeover is going to be seamless and smooth. And thank God for Jim Quinn and his staff over now at OSGA, soon to be Gamblers World, for taking care of that for us. Sean, share with the folks what you may have coming up, my friend.
It'll be a lot of college basketball. Although I did have a NBA total today. I went Clippers under, believe it or not. I figured.
Uh-oh. What's the world coming to, Jesse?
You know, a back-to-back, nobody's a load management day. Who's even playing? Are Clippers going to have 6 guys show up today? I don't even know.
We don't have time for a classic Sean Higgs rant, but what were they thinking bringing in Russell Westbrook? Oh,
I heard on the radio today, teams are 0-14 his last 14 starts. His team is 0-14.
Oh,
I mean, it was pretty easy to predict what was going to happen there. I couldn't believe it when they thought, oh, let's bring in Russell Westbrook because it's worked out so great for the Lakers.
yeah, it's really.
Yeah, I mean, what? Bizarre.
The one big thing with Russell Westbrook that I've noticed that's dramatically changed in his game over the last couple of years, beside the obvious of getting older, is he lost his perimeter game. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what, before he kept teams honest with his ability to at least hit 34-35% of his 3-point shots, which with his speed with the ball, he could blow by defenders if you played him tight on the 3-point line. That's no longer the case. Teams are sloughing off on him, cheating a bit. And it's kind of hard when you can't knock down consistently your 3-point shot or perimeter shots, and you're solely dependent on just penetrating and kicking and that kind of stuff. So, and again, well, we'll see.
You brought that up, Ross. I saw a video on Twitter. They didn't have anybody outside the key. Everybody was inside the paint. He was the only guy outside. Yeah. The 5 guys inside on 4 guys. He was outside by himself. They were, go ahead, shoot the ball. We don't care. Go ahead.
That was anywhere you want. That would be my game plan against us 3, not against an NBA player. Anyway, until the next time, folks, we'll be back starting again on Monday, and we're going to have a hell of a March. A lot to be excited about. A lot of shows coming up. A lot of college basketball related stuff. We got the NCAA, the conference tournaments coming up. They've started already, but the major conference tournaments start next week in full bloom. And then also the NCAA tournament coming up, the NCAA draw a week from Sunday, and the NIT, the CBI, the CIT, all kinds of good stuff here on the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. And don't forget, it's the Winner's Circle Sports Betting channel starting on Monday, and it's brought to you by GamblersWorld.com. Until the next time, for Jesse Shule, Sean Higgs, and Ross Benjamin, we like to wish each and every one of you a fantastic weekend. Good luck and God bless, folks.